right. Hello, everyone. Good morning and welcome to the Funding the Commons conference. This is a special conference where we have joined hands with Earth Commons. And this is going to be like 2 action-packed days of public goods, magical moments. And these are amazing people in this room right now with you. So these are some giga brains. Beth has curated this incredible lineup of speakers. So you're going to have a lot of fun the next 2 days. I'm your host, Arun Phillips, and together we're going to explore this beautiful world of public goods funding, spotlight environmental stewardship, and regenerative agriculture. Some housekeeping details will be shared a little bit soon by our next speaker, but to introduce the next speaker for our first event, the first opening speaker, we have the CEO of Funding the Commons. He has been driving the growth of FTC for the past 18 months. He's a 3 times founder with more than 10 years of experience, and he's just a super inspiring human being. From the last month, I've been spending time with him. So please help me welcome, with a loud round of applause, David Casey.
All right. All right. Thank you, everybody. And welcome to the 11th Funding the Commons. Yeah. And the second Earth Commons. So today we have a combined conference between our 2 sister brands. And first, I wanted to say thank you to all the sponsors that made this possible. Protocol Labs, which we'll talk about in a bit, and Stellar and Near, and everyone else who contributed in all ways. So first, a little bit of orientation. You are currently in the main stage of the 22nd floor of Gayshorn Tower. We'll have actually a partner conference thrown by another Protocol Labs organization, the Filecoin Foundation, a couple floors down, which I'll orient you in a minute. The cafeteria that many of you have visited already has lots of delicious Thai food for you. And beyond that, there are 2 workshop stages, the forest stage and the ocean stage, which will be more interactive peer-to-peer discussions and unconference style programming. You can scan the QR code right there for more information, updated schedule, information about speakers. We also have lots of swag and merchandise for you at the entrance, so please take it home with you. And we are part of the Protocol Labs Lab Week. As I mentioned, there's a sister conference happening literally a couple floors down, and you just walk around the stairs. And that is also part of a series of events that Protocol Labs is hosting. And Protocol Labs is actually the organization that Funding the Commons and Earth Commons were born out of over the last few years. So a little bit of context about Funding the Commons. We're building an incubation ecosystem for public goods funding, infrastructure, and technology. We're working with researchers, builders, funders, and blockchain protocols and foundations to create an ecosystem where researchers share new research, builders prototype it, and funders fuel it. And we've had, over the last month, a builder residency in Chiang Mai, and an online hackathon that climaxed yesterday, just down the road at Siam Commercial Bank offices. And we had builders from around the world share tons of projects, and you'll hear directly from the builders tomorrow, actually. Some of the winning projects will be presenting right here. So what are we up to? Conferences and events, as you can see here. Builder residencies, so we did our second one in Chiang Mai last month and our first one in Berlin last year. We completed our second hackathon yesterday, and the judges are busy selecting the final projects right now. And over the last few months, we've started to pilot real-world impact projects, testing blockchain technology, usually last mile kind of infrastructure in the global south. in all sorts of contexts, and we'll talk about that in a bit as well. But to give a spoiler, we've run a pilot in Uganda, and we're currently doing one in this area between Thailand and Myanmar. So a little context about Earth Commons. Earth Commons also came out of Protocol Labs and Filecoin Green. It was formerly called the Sustainable Blockchain Summit. Is anyone in the room like a veteran of Sustainable Blockchain Summit conferences? Yeah, a couple of people. All right. Yeah, so SBS was started back a couple years ago as part of Protocol Labs at the nexus of blockchain technology and sustainability, really bringing the climate, finance, and tech community together with the blockchain industry and exploring how blockchains can become more sustainable as they transition from proof of work to proof of stake, and how the kind of other industries like climate finance and carbon credits can use distributed ledgers to become more efficient. So I'll give you a little recap of 2024. We started in Berkeley in April and ran a dual conference just like this one, Funding the Commons and Earth Commons, in partnership with the UC Berkeley RDI. It's kind of institution within the university focused on the intersection of artificial intelligence and blockchain. We ran our next conference of the year in Tokyo, together with our partners DAO Tokyo, DeSci Tokyo, and Plurality Tokyo, and hosted a number of officials from the public sector and from the United Nations. We actually hosted that one in the UN University. We hosted a philanthropist dinner in Zurich with a number of folks from the climate finance sector, as well as from banking and from government. As I mentioned, we just ran our first virtual hackathon of this year and then finished in person here in Bangkok yesterday. And then we ran a couple of pop-ups, or in other words, like tracks within other conferences. So we ran one in Edge City, California, Edge Esmeralda, and another one in Edge Crecimiento, Argentina. Thank you, Teresa and Anna, for running that one and covering the whole planet for us. We just finished our second open source builder residency in Chiang Mai, and we also ran an unconference style event called a Design Jam yesterday. Thank you, Beth and Nicole and the Deep Work team for running that one. We had 100 people kind of jamming on different real-world problems and how to apply emerging technology solutions. A little bit more about the residency that we just ran in Chiang Mai. We have a few of the builders here, and each of them were creating open source projects, usually public goods funding, as well as real-world impact projects ranging from identity, last mile payments, and other kinds of infrastructure for the unbanked and for those that are not normally included in the existing financial system. You have some photos here. We actually had Vitalik come in for a couple hours and speak with our builders. That was a highlight. Really enjoyed going back and forth and giving and receiving ideas. And we had a number of peer-to-peer workshops where builders were really offering knowledge and teaching each other. And it's really beautiful to see when you have a group willing to share their time and knowledge with each other, such that the real kind of innovation comes from the ground and isn't like something that we kind of like come in and teach or train and really just leverage the collective intelligence. The hackathon we just finished yesterday as well, and as I mentioned, you'll be hearing from the finalists on this very stage tomorrow. We had a number of amazing sponsors and partners. We ran it on the Dora Hacks platform, and we also had support from Only Dust, who you'll also be hearing from during this conference. We had over 100 builds. Over half of them came in yesterday. So something I'm learning with hackathons is a lot of people build at the last minute and submit at the last minute. So we suddenly have a lot more projects to evaluate, which is great. It's kind of like getting like a load of Christmas presents dumped on your front door at the last minute. And yeah, I mentioned the design jam already. With our partners APAC DAO, who you'll hear from shortly, and Deep Work. Oops. Yeah, so we had around 100 people. Really beautiful collaborations emerged, and we had a few of the finalists present on stage yesterday, and you'll hear from them again as well. Okay, so other than events, conferences, hackathons, residencies, dinners, what else are we up to? So this is some of the new stuff that we haven't spoken about publicly before. We are in the midst of running 4 pilots right now. The first one was earlier this year with a platform called the Artisan Fund, and that is a crowdfunding, quadratic funding platform to support digital creators and artists. And we ran a quadratic funding campaign with Artisan specifically to support refugee creators. So we got submissions across Ukraine, Syrian, and Palestinian refugees amongst many others. And that's ongoing, actually. You can contribute directly to that round to the creators on Artisan Funds. We completed our first real-world public goods funding crypto grant to an organization called RefUnite, which you'll actually hear from later today. We'll be hosting a panel with RefUnite and the Stellar Foundation and KoalaPay, another of our pilot partners. And we funded a music studio built and operated by an international group of refugees in Uganda. And we've actually started to receive the first music videos. Hopefully we'll get one on stage later. And the next pilot is ongoing right now here in Thailand and Myanmar. And that is more to be shared soon. We'll talk about that a little bit later on stage today. And the final pilot is being prepared for early 2025 in partnership with Cello and Opera MiniPay. So Opera is a browser that you guys might all be familiar with, and MiniPay is their new mobile wallet that's spreading across Africa. And that one will also be in partnership with RefUnite. Other than pilots, we have launched something together with DRIPS called the Builder Basic Income. And that is essentially a streaming basic income that we are co-funding together with DRIPS and anyone else who wants to contribute money directly into the smart contract. And that supports a monthly stipend for open source public goods builders from our community. And those are essentially hand-picked alumni from our previous residencies. And finally, we are incubating a decentralized crowdfunding platform called Akashic, which you'll hear about more if you follow us online. And that will be in partnership with Kickstarter's new crowdfunding protocol, which will be launching early next year. Stay tuned. And that platform will enable refugee creators to share their stories with the world and directly receive donations from all around the world. And yeah, these are the partners of our pilots. Really grateful to have found kindred spirits in the Web3 space to work with to prototype and pioneer blockchain-based public goods funding applications in the Global South. Another initiative that we've launched this year, our media team, Kim and Teresa, Daniela, is called the Open Conversations. And these are kind of informal, frank, open dialogues with some of our speakers and other folks in the public goods funding space. You can find them on our YouTube, and they're really interesting kind of deep dives into the people behind the public goods funding movement and their stories. So what's next in 2025? We are planning our first Funding the Commons retroactive public goods funding distribution. Thank you, Octant, for helping to give us the juice to be able to give back to our community. So that will be soon. Stay tuned and keep that in mind as you build projects. In 2025, none of our conferences are confirmed yet, but we will tell you what we are thinking about and where we're looking at organizing conferences. San Francisco is likely one of the cities that will run a conference next year. Zurich, Switzerland, possibly Japan, Osaka, around the Global Expo. And actually, we wanted to let our community discuss and determine where to throw a conference next year. So in light of that, we are launching the Funding the Commons DAO. So this will be a community-driven organization with an independent budget that's separate from the Funding the Commons that you know. And we want to give our community the autonomy to discuss and determine and organize with our support at least one Funding the Commons next year. So stay tuned for that. And if you are interested in building and operating and participating in DAOs, please come talk to me, as we intend for this to be a community-driven effort that we will support, but we will not lead. So a few of the ways that you can get involved. Easiest thing to do, connect with us on social media. We have a newsletter, and we are always open to financial and non-financial support, donations, sponsorship, volunteering at our conferences and events. If you know venues that would like to host an event, a residency, a hackathon, etc., speakers, researchers presenting new material, please contact us. So I wanted to thank the many organizations that supported this event and made it possible. And here's me, David. So you can always reach out to me by email or by Twitter. And most importantly, I wanted to thank our local partners, Nicole from APAC DAO. Yeah, give Nicole a round of applause. And Kid from Rise and SeaX Ventures, who is generous to host us today in their offices. So thank you again. I hope you all enjoy the conference, and now we'll hear from Nicole. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Sawadee ka. So thank you very much for coming today, and it means a lot to us, this time to be able to host you all in Bangkok. But I think it's also like the hub of Southeast Asia, and we are very excited that this time DEF CON has picked Southeast Asia as the next destination, and we are very, very honored to be able to host Funding the Commons for the very first time in Southeast Asia as well. I'm from Vietnam, actually, but I have spent quite a bit of time in Thailand, and I consider myself like a Thai in my previous life, I think, because basically everything here is very familiar. A lot of my friends are here, and I think with Funding the Commons, it actually gives us a lot of opportunities to even meet more friends and also to get to know more of them, within the context of being able to create a bigger impact together. I'm actually also very new to public goods. I actually started this very steep learning curve from this March. Actually, back in December, I met David in Taiwan, And I honestly think that, with Southeast Asia, we have done so many things, with the collectivism spirituality. So we believe that we all are part of a bigger society, a part of a bigger group. We've always done a lot of things with social impacts, but we haven't been able to, be equipped with a lot of tools as well as funding opportunities to be able to make a bigger impact. And I think with Funding the Commons, this is also one of the areas and foundations that I think we can actually be able to access more opportunities and resources. So with me, APAC DAO, we run a Web3 Builders community in Southeast Asia. We have roughly 3,000 members now and still counting. And this time we are also hosting quite a few events, hopefully to be able to connect the builders in Southeast Asia with other parts of the world. So this is just one of the initiatives that we are running. But hopefully after this, I will be able to maybe connect with every single one of you here and see how we would be able to help more builders, not just in Web3, but also in public goods, also in social impacts, to be able to make a bigger impact of what they are doing, and basically have more resources and more like-minded people to support them. So again, thank you so much for coming, and it means a lot to us that you are here today, and hopefully we will be able to do something more in the future. Thank you once again.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Nicole. And thank you guys for having us here in Southeast Asia. I kind of relate with Nicole also when she said, it feels like in the past life I was a Thai, because even I kind of feel that, like when I was in Chiang Mai last month, like I felt like I've been here before, somehow, like so. And my name's Arun too, so I think that fits in. It's a Thai name. So maybe we love Thailand. So next up we have the co-founder of Rise, which is a corporate innovation powerhouse that aims to drive 1% of GDP and reduce 1% of carbon emissions for the entire Southeast Asia. Really ambitious goals, which I love. And he's also the generous host of all of us here, this beautiful venue. So let's please welcome Kid Parchariyanon.
Thank you. So it is good morning, everybody, and a very warm welcome to our home here at Rise and SeaX Venture. So I also would like to say a gratitude for Funding the Commons, Earth Common, David, Kim, Anna, and everybody, including Nicole, to supporting this. This is kind of like the great opportunity, right? Because it's aligned with our goal at Rise and SeaX to help drive 1% of GDP for the entire Southeast Asia. A little bit about Rise: we are the consulting firm, specialized in deep tech and in new S-curve. Yeah, we're serving around 500 largest corporate across Southeast Asia. Then to help them building kind of the new S-curve to improve kind of the quality of life and also kind of the people in the region. While the SeaX Venture is a deep tech fund based in Silicon Valley. And why Silicon Valley? Because we want to bridge kind of innovation across the globe from US and Europe back to Southeast Asia. So that's kind of why we're here. And because of that, right, I just want to kind of share kind of the few slides sharing about why we do what we do kind of today, right? So the slide is not moving, probably, but just as a background, I think what Funding the Commons and also Earth Common trying to do is super interesting. Because if you're looking back for our region, date back around 40 years ago, right? You guys know that 108 countries worldwide, right, are still in the middle income trap, including Thailand, including many countries in Southeast Asia. And that's a little bit a shame, right? Because in the past 40 years, only a few countries, probably less than 1/3, be able to shift themselves from low income to middle income and to developed countries, right? So that's kind of I think that's and how we be able to do that. I think one of the things that we discover after we've been working with in this region for 7 years, I think we discover kind of three things that are gonna change this forever. I call 3I, right? So the first I, that I'd like to leave with everybody today is investment. Yeah, which means if you're looking back 40 years ago, take example for Thailand, right? Why we have such a beautiful countries, but why we have a good road and like the many great car manufacturing here, because like the country like Japan, right, also invest heavily in our country, building manufacturing. So that's why we are one of we call Thailand as a Detroit of Southeast Asia. We produce many cars. And now, right, taking money from China, right, and then now we are number one EV exporter in the region, like electric vehicle. So investment is helping the country, many countries, be able to shift from low income to middle income. But unfortunately, we cannot grow even beyond, right? What we need. Yeah, report from World Bank also mentioned that we need a second thing, yeah, which is called infusion. So we cannot leap ahead. Yeah, and just after you get investment, you get the factory, it doesn't mean that you can produce EV from Thai car brand, right? That's cannot happen. Yeah, so and that's why I think many of you are here today. Many of you are builders, who are innovator, who have like Web3, blockchain, kind of like those kind of like the tech, right? That you guys be able to build. So we need to learn from you. And I think like the Funding the Common and also Earth Common is a great platform, right? Yeah, that bring everybody together, because we need this kind of like infusion. We need this kind of like exchange, like collaboration, that be able to drive and let the local people here in Southeast Asia learn a lot more, in order for them to be able to create their own innovation. Yeah, so that's coming up to the third part, right? So after you have investment, after you infuse innovation from other countries, learn from the other, not just trying to disrupt anyone from the start, but learn from the other first, right? Adopt the technology, and then be able to learn, and then be able to innovate yourself. After that, you'll be able to create your own, like innovation. So I think that's kind of like things that I like to leave with you all today, that now everybody is here. So I hope, we'll be able to use this platform, like Funding the Commons and also Earth Common, as a common platform for everybody to join hand. And everybody gonna, not anyone gonna win alone, but we will be able to win together, and everybody rise together. Let's do that together in these 2 days and beyond. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kid. That was awesome. And like, thank you for all the work you've been doing so far. And we really hope that goal becomes a reality. Next up, we have someone, this is a very familiar face. You guys must have seen Beth all around here. She's the program director of FTC. She brings like 10 years of experience in experience design. And we can see that today, I'm sure. Like once you see the speakers in the lineup, they're from AI, digital identity, real world impact, from a Southeast Asia context. They're from the public goods funding stack. So incredible speakers. And Beth is really passionate about strategic collaboration plus dynamic design, plus applied research for ethical humans and their systems. So it's a very lot packed in that one sentence, but there's a lot to unpack there. Even I spent a lot of time reading that sentence. So let's give a huge round of applause to Beth, and let's hear from Beth.
So yeah, thank you guys so much for coming today. I know that there's a lot of different things going on, around DevCon and just in Thailand in general right now. So it's really special to share the space with y'all. I am so excited about this program that I curated with Nicole and other folks in our community to really try to get a holistic view of placing Earth Commons, which is our kind of branch that looks at ecological risk and environmental impact, together with financial inclusion and focusing on real world issues and unpacking that as a concept, because all of our work should be geared toward building solutions that are resonant and useful in the real world. So I think the group of speakers today really provides a lot of depth and nuance to each of these topics, as well as the other tracks around digital infrastructure as a public good and the public goods funding stack that is all very familiar to those of us in the niche space around digital public goods and Web3, but I hope that this program also extends beyond that. We have some really awesome folks locally in Thailand, like those that we are about to hear from. So yeah, really looking forward to sharing these perspectives with y'all, and also seeing who's here throughout the day and meeting you, and want to say again a huge thanks to Nicole for, yeah, we've been collaborating on this since February. I think we were having our first talks about what it was going to look like, planning the design jam together and thinking about this super far away time in November that somehow is now happening. So thank you all for sharing with me.
All right. Thank you so much, Beth, and thank you for curating all of these awesome experiences for us. And thank you.